Luck and the Colts beat the New York Giants 40-24. Andrew Luck was brilliant against the blitz. The Giants blitzed him 29 times, the most they've done it in a game since ESPN started keeping track. Luck was 17 of 29 for 258 yards and 2 touchdowns against the blitz. We hear from Luck and Fleener.
To get a win is always good, especially on the road on Monday night against a very good Giants team. It wasn't pretty by any means. You know, there's definitely things we can shore up, but good fight by the guys and a big victory.
He's exceptional. I mean, in my eyes, he's the best. And I think you guys see it once a week, and I get to see it every day. So I'm fortunate to kind of be spoiled, I guess. But he's an exceptional player.
Andrew Luck finished the game 25 of 46 for 354 yards, 4 touchdowns. We're grading his performance last night. Stephen A. Smith, you first.
Well, to me, it wasn't sensational, Kerry, Skip. I mean, I would give it a B, primarily because the New York Giants just looked completely lost and inept defensively. But when you think about the fact that this guy is 3 games shy of, breaking Drew Brees' record for 300-yard games, when you consider the fact that just 9 games in, he's already passed for over 3,000 yards, that he's on a record pace to even eclipse Peyton Manning's single-season record. Skip Bayless, it just goes back to what I keep telling you about Andrew Luck. The brother's big time. And I definitely think that when you consider the prognostications that came associated with his name when he first entered the league, I know that you sit there and say, what you joke around sarcastically. Well, you know what? Let's just put him in the Hall of Fame. I'm not saying you do that yet. I'm just saying his arrival there will be, and it is inevitable, Skip Bayless. He will be there someday because he has all the requisite tools. He has pocket presence. He's got an arm. He's got athleticism. He has size. He's durable. He's smart. And he can make every throw imaginable on the run or in the pocket. And I just think that when you look at what he's doing right now, it does help that he's playing in arguably the weakest division in football. It does help that he was playing against a weak opponent in the New York Giants last night. That's right, I'm calling them weak because that's how pathetic their defensive performance was. How many more? I mean, did you see how wide open some of these receivers were last night? It was an embarrassing performance by the New York Giants. There's no way around that. But when I look at Andrew Luck, I'm just seeing some of the weapons. Wayne and Hilton are no joke, and Fleener is respectable. I'm just looking at Andrew Luck and I'm saying it rolls because he rolls. This is the leader of this franchise. He's deserving of being a franchise caliber player. That's who he is. And when I see him play, the good or the bad, he misses some throws. He makes too many mistakes sometimes. I get all of that, but it's because he can afford to, because he's that gifted. That's how I look at him.
So you're going to give him a B, even though he had 4 touchdown passes to no interceptions and 354 total passing yards.
Because of the New York Giants, yes.
Okay.
Who are you playing against?
The Giants factor somewhat into my grade. But to your point, and we'll get to the larger issue in just a moment, I balk against the premature coronation of Andrew Luck. That's what I talk about again and again on the show. And I thought it did play again into last night's post-game assessment of Andrew Luck. I'm actually going to grade generously here, and I'm going to give him a C+ for last night. A C+ because I think those stats are very misleading, and not just because of the New York Giants. By his own admission, Andrew Luck said after the game that he didn't play very well. And Mike Wells, our Colts reporter, who does a terrific job of covering this team, I read every word he ever writes, wrote after last night's game that he wondered early on what's wrong with Andrew Luck because he was misfiring so often. Andrew Luck wound up completing only 54% of his passes, which is not great. That's 25 of 46. There were a lot of misfires, especially early on, when the Giants were actually trying in this game. His QBR, Andrew Luck's, was surprisingly low, only 73.5 because of the incompletions, and despite the fact that he had 4 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, 354 total yards passing. But let's think about it quickly here. The first touchdown pass to Kobe Fleener was a joke. It was actually a robbery because Tom Coughlin was trying to pull the challenge flag out of his sock, and all of a sudden, Luck and company quick snapped it, threw it to Kobe Fleener, and the Giants just They weren't watching. They didn't cover him at all. It was a gift touchdown, right? It was just a wide open gift first touchdown that made the score 10-0. And on the previous play, it was very debatable whether Kobe Fleener controlled the ball to the ground and Coughlin couldn't get the red flag out of his sock. Okay, second touchdown pass. Should have been an interception because it basically was an interception by DRC, who, for reasons beyond me, let little tiny T.Y. Hilton, what is he, like 5'8", 185, take the ball away from him as he went to the ground? Are you kidding me? So an interception turned into a touchdown pass in the end zone because DRC just didn't want the ball that badly. And remember, by that point, as we went into the second half of the game, the Giants had lost their best cornerback. Prince Amukamara tore his biceps tendon, gone for the year.
Yep.
So now they're down another cornerback, which leads to the Reggie Wayne touchdown pass, which I thought was maybe as egregious as any, because little Hosley takes a bad angle gamble, completely whiffs, rolls out of bounds. Reggie Wayne catches an 8-yard pass, looks up the sideline and says, oh, wait a minute, I guess nobody's going to chase me here. So he starts running, and he keeps running, and he's looking, and DRC doesn't make a great effort to get him. And all of a sudden he scores. 32 yards later, he runs it in the end zone. And then the final touchdown pass, the Giants had called it a night, as you allude to. And from the 2-yard line, he fakes to Ahmad Bradshaw, the former Giant, diving over the pile. And he flips it to Dwayne Allen, the tight end, who is just standing there unopposed in the end zone, looking around like, wait, nobody's going to cover me. I think I'll catch the 2-yard touchdown pass. Right. So I just gave you 4 touchdown passes. No interceptions that could have easily been 1 interception. And to me, it's one of those nights when Andrew was a little lucky on this night because the stats are a little bit misleading. Now, if we want to go bigger picture here, I think this postseason, and by the way, as I look down the schedule, I think this Colts team's going to go, it easily could go 13-3, maybe 12-4, at worst case 11-5, because without going through the schedule, but it's pretty easy. They do have to play the Patriots, but they get them at home. Their next 3 games are at home. They do have to, bless you, they do have to go to Cleveland, go to Dallas. Now you're thinking, they could probably win those games. They finish at Tennessee, they could win that game. They could go 13-3, could this team.
Yep.
Okay? So the pressure's going to mount again on one Andrew Luck to rise above his past postseasons this postseason. Is that fair for me to say? He threw seven interceptions last postseason. He threw 4 at Foxborough in the loss to the Patriots. So there's going to be a lot of buildup, a lot of hype, a lot of, to me, premature coronation, and it's going to be time for Andrew Luck to live up to it when it matters.
No, I disagree with that because I think he's already lived up to it, and I think he has a long career ahead of him. This is Andrew Luck's 3rd season, and I think that we have to put that in its proper perspective. The people that praise Andrew Luck, it's because of the potential that has already been validated. That's what they're talking about here. You didn't look at
Andrew Luck. Has it been validated in the postseason?
Well, no, to some degree, yes. I think when you come back, regardless of the mistakes that he made, when you come back and you lead them to that victory over the Kansas City Chiefs in a playoff game, I think that counts for something for you in your favor, especially when you're this young. When you look at Andrew Luck, I think as time progresses, he'll be even wiser. He'll make even better decisions. But in the meantime, he'll continue to improve upon skills that are already big time. And that's what I'm saying about Andrew Luck. It's not about a Super Bowl with Andrew Luck in terms of, as far as I'm concerned. Peyton Manning is still in the AFC. Tom Brady is still in the AFC. Aaron Rodgers is still playing football. So is Drew Brees. There are quarterbacks that are above Andrew Luck. But the fact of the matter is that when Andrew Luck steps on a football field, I don't care who you are, you know that you're going to have something to reckon with because Andrew Luck can ball. And that's what this comes down to. Peyton Manning wasn't expected to win a Super Bowl his first 3 or 4 years or 5 years in the NFL. As time creeped up, we started getting to the point where, all right, now's enough time. You know, Tom Brady already got a couple of Super Bowls. Where are you at? You got to show up. Matter of fact, Tom Brady had 3 before Peyton Manning had 1. And so when you have something like that, that's different. But look at the class. I mean, Russell Wilson obviously has done what he's done. Colin Kaepernick hasn't won a Super Bowl. RG3 clearly hasn't won a Super Bowl. Andrew Luck clearly is the class of his class, and he performs like it as far as I'm concerned. He deserves credit for that.
Well, he wasn't the class of his class his rookie year because RG3 was.
Yeah, but RG3 was the better rookie, but Andrew Luck did not disappoint. He went 11-5. He showed a lot of promise. It's just that RG3 had a spectacular rookie season. But it wasn't like you looked at Andrew Luck and said, well, you know what? I really regret him being the #1 overall pick. He's a bust. No, Andrew Luck was balling. It's just that RG3 was balling on a higher level.
All right. Skip Bayless gives him a C+. You give him a B. Last night, the Countdown crew talked about him. Trent Dilfer specifically said if he had to start a franchise, it would be between him and Aaron Rodgers. Moving on to the other side of the ball. The Giants.
It would definitely be Aaron Rodgers. Well, go ahead.
Because of youth.
Well,
referring to.
I know, but Aaron Rodgers is getting up there in age.
Yeah, so that's why. You wouldn't be, youth.
I'm skill level. Aaron Rodgers is the best.
I would agree.
Moving
By far.
on. The Giants are now 3-4.